This might be my most controversial video yet. Come with me to a region that is heavily disputed. An autonomous region. One that holds a people who are spread out amongst 4 countries. Through Syria, Iraq, Turkey, and Iran. A people who have been the subject of genocide over thousands of years. These are a people who have their own traditions, their own culture, their own language. I am traveling to Kurdistan, known to many as Northern Iraq. And despite not being recognized as its own country by the UN, this is a completely autonomous state, and I'm flying in with a Kurdistan visa. I can't wait to show you what I'm getting into. Let's go to Kurdistan. We made it to Kurdistan and we found a taxi. We only paid $10 total for this, and we made it to our hotel, the Crystal Hotel. Now it's time to get some sleep.
Welcome to Kurdistan. We are setting off for our first day in Erbil. Super excited to be here. It's already pretty hot. Let's see what we can get into.
I went to southern Iraq in 2021, and for this trip, we wanted to go back to federal Iraq. However, Turkish citizens need a visa that takes about 30 days. So we decided to pivot and come to the north. Now, what I didn't know at the time was that there was actually a Kurdistan visa. For me, it was an e-visa, and Dilara could come visa-free. So here we are in Erbil, and I am so excited to be here. There is a hustle and bustle to the city, however, things are also calm at the same time. In the distance, you can see the citadel. This is thousands of years old, and the city of Erbil is also thousands of years old. Our first stop of the day is Machko Cafe. This is an old cafe that is well known for their breakfast, and now it's a little bit touristic with all of these old pictures up, but it's definitely a historical place that you need to go to in Erbil. So for now, we're just sitting around looking at all the pictures and waiting for them to bring our breakfast. In general, so far, people speak English pretty well. We were able to order a breakfast that came with all of these different cheeses and some jam, different types of eggs, some olives. It looks so good. It also came with some soup and, of course, tea. Cannot wait to dig into this. Flash forward and we are in the bazaar. This actually reminds me a lot of the Grand Bazaar in Istanbul, but probably because they were created in similar times. The Kayseri Bazaar is an ancient marketplace with a rich history. Some people believe that the Kayseri Bazaar was built in the late 12th century by Sultan Muzaffartin Gökbori. This was during the Ottoman period. Okay, but I saw these sticks and I definitely need to try them. I think it's something that's sour. It looks like it has salt on it.
So I think that this is pomegranate. It's salty.
Okay, so for now, we're just going to walk through the market and eat our pomegranate sticks. Over the centuries, the bazaar has expanded and evolved, and it became a meeting point where goods, ideas, technologies, and cultures converged from various empires. For example, the Assyrians, Babylonians, Persians, Greeks, Arabs, and Ottomans. Now, while there are a lot of Muslims in Kurdistan, there are a lot of other minority groups as well. So all of the food that you see here can also be attributed to other cultures in a way with a lot of different influences. Now at this point, we're offered to try some of this coffee. I was a little bit skeptical because he was calling it pistachio coffee, but it literally had pistachio in it and it was so good. We go outside and see all of these little bright green plums. These are erik, one of Dilara's favorite things that she usually gets in Turkey, so she negotiates and we get some.
What are those?
Erik.
Where do you know it from?
Turkey.
Woo!
Very salt.
Now you cannot visit the center of Holler without going to the citadel.
Alright, it's pretty hot, but we're gonna try and go up there to the citadel. It seems like the citadel itself is not actually open, but there's quite a nice view from up here.
Flash forward, it is time to get some dinner. Now because I've been to federal Iraq, I really wanted Dilara to try the official dish of Iraq.
Now we're here and we are going to have some maslouf, which is an Arabic dish, but I really wanted Dilara to try this.
We get the price written out because we want to make sure that we know it. It's about $13 per kilo.
No one speaks English, but we've been able to communicate kind of with hand motions, a little bit of Turkish, and a little bit of Arabic.
They informed us upon arrival that it was going to take an entire hour to cook our fish, so I decided to come and look at how they were cooking the fish. Typically, on a very busy night, they would have fish surrounding this entire thing. But because it's almost closing time, there are only a few left cooking on the embers.
So normally behind me, this would be filled with a bunch of different fish, but right now it's kind of late, but it's pretty cool. They actually kill each fish right before they cook it, and then they place it around the fire, and they
I also thought this would be a good opportunity to check out how they are making the bread here. So they prepare all of the little dough and then they roll it up and they throw it inside the oven. Now this is a very Middle Eastern way of cooking bread. And of course my timing was pretty bad and I couldn't really get a vision of the bread actually on the side of the oven cooking. But that to the left there is the final product. Now I've been notified that the food is ready. I'm so excited. They have given us a bunch of meze to start. So you can see some eggplant, you can see some pickles, which were really good, some hummus, a fattoush salad, an arugula salad, some lemon for when the fish comes out. And this is all just included with the meal. But when the fish finally came out, I am so excited. I grabbed some bread. Okay, I take a bite first, but then I go in and I am tasting that yummy fish. They give us some chai once we finish our meal, and wow, we did some damage. It was very good. It was a little bit too big for us, but we ate most of it.
Full.
To get around, we call Kareem a taxi app, so we call a taxi and we're on our way.
All right, we are going to attempt to get to the bus terminal and get to Alkosh today so that we can go to Hafra tomorrow. Let's go. Let's go. So unfortunately, we cannot... Oh my God. So unfortunately, Kirkuk is technically part of federal Iraq, so we cannot actually go.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me redo that. So we did not realize that to get to Al-Shargat, we actually have to go to Kirkuk, and we didn't realize that Kirkuk is actually part of the south. So unfortunately, yes.
To Mosul.
Yeah, Family Mart.
لا فعلي مراقب في ميلاد يروح عاجي أمران يعني هذا
Mosul.
موصل بن موصل.
Oh, he says he wants to bring.
Oh yeah?
How much?
موصل
Arabic, Turkish, Kurdish.
تركي بيأزلي موصل أنا يروح ب 70,000 يعني يروح يجي بس يروح.
Only one way, يروح.
لا بس يروح يعني يروح يجي يعني بس يروح موصل.
Yeah, we stay in Mosul.
تمام أنا يروح موصل لو أنت 60,000.
60.
خلاص قبل يروح.
60,000.
That's more.
That's too much.
As you can see, we have absolutely no idea what he's saying, but we are trying to do our best to communicate.
Çok.
والله موتشو موسى على اسم كريم قلت فورا بالبيت نزل علي.
The terminal said 40 to Mosul.
ايه 40 تاكسي كريم وهذا وانت هنا هم تاكسي بالموصل احنا فورا يروح يعني رفض موصل.
Do you want to go to Mosul or the other place?
اقول له انتم كريم انا مو كريم انا افتح اشتهى هذا 80 انت كريم لا انا رخيص يروح.
What about Al-Shargat? Shargat?
شركات؟
شركات.
ايه شركات.
Yeah.
تمام.
No?
ها؟
No? Can we go to Al-Shargat? Can you help me out, Didi?
يعني شلون؟
شركات. How much شركات? شركات.
شركة؟
الشركات. شركات.
الشركات لازم ولا صندوق؟ بس أقول.
No?
Saying with Kareem it's cheaper for some reason.
We're gonna do not private, so.
Yeah.
Well, I see, we found a price that worked for all of us, and we are riding with him to go to Mosul. This was not our original plan. We really wanted to go to Al-Shargat, but he convinced us to do it. Just like that, we are on our way. So we get through one of many checkpoints.
Just got stopped at a checkpoint and it was really crazy, but we got through.
It reason that it was crazy was because we had no idea what they were saying, and our driver was the one who was helping us kind of figure things out. But all seemed fine. We told them our plan, and they let us through to go to the next checkpoint. Now, at this point, we need to stop for some gas, and I'm not sure if it's natural gas or regular gas, but to make the gas be more effective, everybody is shaking their car. They're literally jumping on and shaking their car to make it be more effective. Not sure how that works. Okay, this is when things got a little confusing.
So Baghdad, Turkey needs Baghdad or no? America or Turkey or both? Can you ask that?
Both, I think both.
Yeah?
Sure.
Again, we went through a checkpoint. All was seemingly okay, and we got through.
So that was a bit of a close call. That was our third checkpoint, and they basically did not want to let us go through, but we got through, we think, because of our driver here and a little bit of luck.
Well, we made it to Mosul. This is a city that I've been wanting to go to for a very long time, so I'm glad that we made it in. We are now heading to a hotel that has an old classic car in front of it, which is kind of interesting. And we weren't able to make a reservation, so let's see.
Well, they will not serve us there or give us a room because we don't have a federal Iraq visa, so we're trying to figure out where to go next.
Okay, to be honest, this hotel looks way nicer anyways, so I'm happy to be here, and they even have an adorable hijabi Barbie on the wall. How cute is that? They also have an adorable bird, and they treat it so nicely. So that was a little bit stressful just because neither of us have a visa to technically be in this part of the country, which is a little bit confusing. But we do not have a federal Iraq visa, and they own Mosul. So we are in Mosul without a federal Iraq visa, with only Kurdistan permissions, which I was not aware of until we got here, which is very, very stressful. But I was told by multiple people that this was fine, and they kind of just let it slide. So that hotel just didn't feel comfortable taking us, but this hotel didn't care, so happy to be here.
Oh, behind me, there is some type of archaeological site, and it's pretty cool because it is extremely old, so we're going to check that out later when it's not so hot.
As I'm gazing out into the distance, I see a federal Iraq flag. This should have been kind of a premonition of what was to happen next. We're going downstairs and we're going to go chat with a friend who is also a tour guide here. Little know that would lead to us marching upstairs and going back to our room almost immediately.
Right now we are packing all of our stuff, kind of freaking out a little bit because basically we have been reported that we are in Mosul illegally and we are not allowed to be here. We are not supposed to be in Mosul because it is technically part of federal Iraq and we only have a Kurdistan visa, and I as an American can stay here, but Dilara cannot. So we are rushing because they gave us 1 hour to get out of the city. This is actually crazy.
Of course, my bag won't close because I have an hour to leave the city.
All right, let's go back. But the power has died, so now we're walking down in the dark.
Just if anything else could go wrong at this point. We planned to take shared cars, but we have no other choice.
Here we go.
I'm trying not to show Dilara that I am a little bit stressed and a little bit scared because this was definitely not my intention when we came to Mosul. But as I look around and I see Iraqi military and I see Iraqi flags, it makes a lot more sense. To be honest, I'm a little bit mad that we took a nap when we got here instead of actually going out and exploring, but who knows if we would have gotten arrested in that time, so maybe it was better. All of a sudden, I see Ishtar gates in this distance, almost like fake Ishtar gates. Super interesting.
We made it through and they said I had to be removed from the governance. It was on the Google Translate, so it was a bit scary, but we're back in Kurdistan on our way to Erbil.
I'm telling you, seeing this border really just brought tears to my eyes. No, I'm just kidding, but I was very happy. We made it back to Erbil in a different hotel this time, one that's a little bit cheaper, around $40 per night.
Okay, we made it back to Erbil and we are going out to try some street food. We're here in the Hawkler area of Erbil. Finally, we are back at night and we are really excited, but we only have $10 worth of money. We can convert more, but we're going to see what we can do with this $10. So let's cross the road and get some food.
We're getting corn for 1,000.
Corn is something that both of us love, so if it's in season, you know we definitely have to get some. Going to be totally honest, this was okay, but not an amazing start. So then I saw this stall, and although there's some meat, I'm also seeing some falafel there and lots of veggies, and it looks great. I'm going to load up and put all of the different stuff that I want on here, like sauce and vegetables. There's lettuce and arugula and cabbage. It looks so good.
Delicious. Okay.
I can't believe that sandwich is only $1. But now I'm looking around. This is ayran, which is a yogurt drink, and then there's like a meat soup here. It actually reminds me of an Afghan soup. I see some mussels over here, and there are some sunflower seeds behind it, if you can see those, literally on fire. But let's keep walking because we only have $8 now. It is at this point that I notice something red across the way, and that is pomegranate seeds, also known as nar.
This was our most expensive purchase so far. But worth it.
This is the cafe that we had breakfast the first day. You can see there are a bunch of men sitting in front of it having coffee. We head over to the other side. There are more women over here, and we see some Turkish style coffee.
Now, per Dilara's request, we are going to get some coffee, and I think I'm going to get an orange juice.
The coffee is set down in front of us, so we reveal that. They're giving us some free water, and then I get my orange juice, which is so good. This has its back $4 in total, so now we're going to go look at some desserts. All of these look so good. Look at those pistachios. However, I spy some künefe, which is one of my favorite desserts in the entire world. You've probably seen me eat this in other places like Turkey, but I am really excited to dive in and try the Kurdish version, and it does not disappoint. We make it to the center of the Citadel area and just where everyone's walking, and it is popping out here. It's about 10 p.m. and so much is going on at this time. People are everywhere. There are people with their families, with their friends. It is a very lively city. If you can remember these, Dilara loves them. And then all of a sudden she saw something else that she loves. She called it elichmai. She negotiated with the guy. He wanted her to buy about 3 pieces and she only wanted 1. But she was so excited to find this.
Got elichmai. I remember this from as a kid.
Unflavored. It was wet. Apparently there's supposed to be water in it. That's weird. So gross. It's like chewed gum with no flavor already.
Apparently, she found this hilarious. Now, it is our final morning here in Erbil. We're having a lovely breakfast at our hotel that I was very impressed by, and it's time to take off.
We are on our way to the shared taxi station. Hopefully, we're going to get to Duhawk today, and there's no more surprises like yesterday.
Okay, we have arrived. This is where you get the taxis, and immediately people are yelling at us.
Okay, so we got a shared taxi. We're paying $15,000 each, which is about $10 each to go 2 hours.
Trying to film them properly, but they are just sitting on top of trucks and being pulled along and then also driving. And if you can see this, it says, extreme danger, stay back 100 meters. Anyways, I just think that's a little bit weird and I'm not sure why we're still here.
Right, well, we made it to Duhawk. We're excited to be here. It's about a 2-hour ride, kind of cramped, but we dropped off our other passengers. So happy that we can finally have some space to spread out in.
First views of Duhawk. There is a huge Kurdish liberation mural, and we have arrived at the Khani Hotel. This is about $60 per night, and the location is amazing, so I'm really excited. Let's get outside.
We're gonna try and find some food now and just stroll around, even though it's 90 degrees, so we may just stay out here for a couple hours and then make our way back to rest before we go out later tonight.
Now, this is a restaurant that I've heard so much about, Naro's Palace Restaurant. It's supposed to be Kurdish food, and I'm excited.
We're heading upstairs because this is the woman and family.
Although women and families are not necessarily forced to be in different areas from men, it's kind of just a courtesy basically for women. Now, the waiter is pointing out what we can get. He's trying to upsell us a little bit, but we decided on 2 falafel sandwiches.
Definitely a Google Translate situation because nobody speaks Turkish, nobody speaks English, and it's only Arabic and Kurdish.
This one is lentil soup and reminds me of Thai.
Immediately as we sit down, they give us 2 different soups. One is a chicken soup and one is a lentil soup, so we're not eating the chicken one. But there is some jajik, some hummus, different vegetables. We each get a salad. There's some olives. Good selection.
So basically they bring all of these different meze at the beginning, so we're just waiting on our actual meal so we get to eat all of these salads and all this stuff first.
We each got a falafel sandwich. It comes with some fries and different grilled vegetables in there, and wow, it looks so good. They also gave us an entire bowl of rice. I mean, this is a lot of food, and we didn't even order most of it.
Didi wants me to try amba. Oh, Something's familiar. I don't like the texture though. That was great.
Wow, it was so yummy.
So as much as I love the idea of getting tea after every single meal, I think I prefer Turkish tea because
it's actually really bitter. So that was 6,000 dinar, which is about $4.50. Crazy. Definitely a must visit. We are out in Duhawk and we are walking to the bazaar.
All right, there is a lot to see in Duhawk downtown area. I mean, look at all of these very interesting mannequins. This is traditional Kurdish dress, and you know I love fruit, so we are going to a fruit market to find some fruit for ourselves. There are lots of dates, and as you can see, these are from all different parts of Iraq. Ooh, and look at those sticky wet dates. Those are the best dates. We are getting some of these for ourselves, but also to bring back to Dilara's mom. You know we can't see Eric without getting some, so we're getting some samples of those too, which is really nice. And they
It's okay.
But so far, Duhawk is a really cute city. I feel very safe here, and I am really enjoying my time here. But there is so much more for us to see when we leave from the city and go to a few places nearby. Can't wait to share. Today we are going to 2 very exciting places with Mohammed from Iraq Tourism to learn about 2 groups of people who have survived many genocides. And our first stop is Alkosh to learn about the Assyrian people. Alkosh is a Christian town. Assyrians, sometimes known as Chaldeans, are actually Syriac, also known as Asuri. Christianity has been here since the 3rd century, and these people are not Kurdish or Arab. They've been through many genocides, with 75% leaving after ISIS came. They speak Aramaic, thought to be the language that Jesus spoke. And today we are at Hormuz Monastery. You can see it carved into the mountains.
Rabban in our local language, in Aramaic and also local language, it means saint. So this monastery called Hormuz Monastery or Saint Hormuz Monastery. Saint Hormuz was a holy person, was originally from Iran region. He was a Christian from the Eastern Church. He had this idea to do a pilgrimage from his location all the way to Jerusalem, but ends up in Mesopotamia or modern day Iraq, in one of the oldest monasteries of the world, which is called Marmati. He starts his education and his monastic life there, but then in a period of that time when he is there is a drought in Mesopotamia and there is no water and they have to close the monastery. And for him to continue his worshipping, he had to find a place. He and his best friend, they come to this region and they find out that there is a water spring here, which is a great place because you need water. And then the geographical structure of Mount Alkosh, it's easy carved. It's very easily delightful for carving. So Rabban Hormuz decides that he's gonna stay here. He will carve a cell for himself to worship. and his monastery here. And his best friend goes to Nineveh plain to Mosul region. We are talking about 7th century, which is almost 1,300 years ago. In Rabban Hormuz, there is also a cross in the middle. Rabban Hormuz would always sit like that, facing the cross, putting the chains on his hand, and start worshipping. And the moment he would fall asleep, the chain would wake him up and he would continue praying. In this monastery, it's not only for Christians, the Yazidis and also Muslims, they visit here, they make wishes here. It's a holy place for everyone.
Now, there is no recording allowed in the monastery, so I can walk in, but I'm not going to be able to show you anything beyond this point. However, just know that there used to be 200 monks in these caves and 4 churches. In 2014, when ISIS came, many left. Now, mainly in this city are old people living here. This can be hard for the community to thrive, but there are still people making Christian art and really trying to keep traditions alive as much as they can. The Chaldeans avoid intermarrying, and only Christians can buy and sell land here. So they are protected in some senses, but they are dwindling in numbers, and the largest group of Assyrians is actually in Chicago. Now let's learn about the next group of people that we're going to meet today.
The Yazidi people, they speak Kurdish Kurmanji dialect. They are originally from Kurdistan region, or if you want to call it Mesopotamia, also Mesopotamia region. Most of them are from the Kurdistan part of Iraq and also Turkey. They are speaking Kurdish. Their prayers are in Kurdish. A very small percentage of them, they also speak Arabic. They don't speak Kurdish.
We were just listening to some Yazidi music, singing all about the mountains and all of beautiful nature. I really hope YouTube does not force me to remove that music. So I'm sorry if I had to replace it. And yes, that is fire casually burning in the sky.
So we've made it to Laish. This is the holiest place for the Yazidis. Excited to go inside this temple.
I would say maybe come in April if you can, because it is really hot here in May. But let's learn about the Yazidis.
Laish is the holiest site or temple for the Yazidis. It's also the temple of light or sun. Each Yazidi in their lifetime, they should visit this site or this temple and get baptized from the holy water and do the pilgrimage there.
So the roads are closed to cars right now. For some reason, we have bad luck, so we have to walk in this very hot heat right now, but that's okay.
We have arrived at the gates of the holy temple of Laish, and we must take off our shoes because absolutely no shoes are allowed inside the complex at all. This is the map of the holy temple, and the first thing I see upon entering the complex is the white spring, which is holy water. It has never been polluted, and they believe that when God flooded the earth and Noah escaped with all of the animals, this was the only place that never flooded.
This is the holy spring. I'm going to drink from it.
You can wash your face also if you want.
Mohammed is picking up dut off the ground, which is kind of like a huckleberry, or maybe it's more like a boysenberry or a blackberry. In Yazidism, fire is everything. There is no holy book, and everything is transferred via oral traditions. There are religious singers, kavali, who have religious chantings and stories and tell them to people. Some people call the Yazidis devil worshippers, but this is wrong. They worship fire and have similar themes to Zoroastrianism. For them, sun is holy, fire is holy, and nature is holy. They are connected to nature.
Very important to step over the threshold and not.
It is an insult to step on the doorway because angels are protecting each door and they kiss it and take a blessing. There are also bad angels and bad energy. These angels can't fly, but they are reptilians, which is why they have the doorways and barriers. If you see these large candle towers, there are 366 here, one for every day of the year. They use cotton and make holy wicks. All of the olives are collected in April for the new year. Virginal servants clean olives and make olive oil for those lights. This is the explanation of the main elements and how they are all very important to the Yazidis.
You see the water, you can see the soil, you can see the nature, and air is almost everywhere. So
Now it's time to visit the inner temple. In the Noah's Ark story, there are black snakes that sacrifice themselves surrounding the ark and preventing it from sinking. This means that Yazidis do not kill black snakes. It is a blessing. And this is Shah Maran. She has the head of a woman, the body of a snake, and is able to heal anyone. But let's step over the threshold and enter the inner temple.
because light is holy, and any shade of light is also holy. What they do, they bring these fabrics, they make it like a pilgrimage all around Laish, and they put it here. So those people who come to here with the pilgrimage, if they want to make a wish, they make a wish, and then they tie, and then they go. And everyone can do that. It's a making wish place.
So no, of course, I am going to also try and tie a knot. This is actually not as easy as it looks, but I finally was able to get it and make a wish. This is a good example of some of the different fire elements in the temple and the holy wicks. Now, if you look down to the right, as we step over this threshold, you can see a room, but only Yazidis are allowed in that room. We turn to our left, and this is the tomb of Sheikh Adi. Yazidis will kiss part of the fabric and walk around it 3 times to get a blessing. But now we're going into my favorite room in the entire complex. This is the olive oil room. Olive oil is essential because it is used for the holy wicks. And this room is pretty freaking crazy. On the tops of the doors, eggs are mashed with the colors of nature. This is a symbol of spring and the new year, and it is left there for 1 whole year. Now back to this masterpiece of an olive oil room. Honestly, it looks a little bit scary as though somebody has been trying to escape, but actually, these are the handprints of the virgins who take care of the olive oil. Once people get married, they are no longer virgins and they can't be servants of the temple. You can see this woman, she is about to make a wish, and we are going to do the same. We say who we want to wish and light a cotton wick.
He sent it for you and your mother and father.
This room, you go in and you have to back out of that room. You can't show your back.
Yazidis love to make wishes, so basically with this one, you take this sacred cloth and you throw it up there. However, you have to do this with your eyes shut, and you only get 3 chances. So at this point, I've missed twice, and I only get 1 more chance, and I finally make it. Now we've neared the end of the tour. There is a tomb here. And I found this room, and it's so lovely with all of these beautiful birds just nesting in here and flying about. The Yazidis actually call themselves Azidi, but apparently when the Arabs came, they couldn't say it, so they said Yazidi, and that stuck. There are 2 million Yazidis around the world, and they have gone through 73 different genocides. Because of this, many people have been forced to convert over the years, which is incredibly sad because this is considered to be one of the oldest religions in the world, known to be at least 7,000 years old. But what a special religion, and I'm so happy I got to learn more about it. There are still 5,000 Yazidi women who are unaccounted for, who have been kidnapped by ISIS and forced into sex slavery. Do not forget about the Yazidi women. Goodbye, Laish. What a special place. This is Mohammed. He is the owner of
Iraq tourism.
Yes, here in Kurdistan, specializing in Laish and Alkosh.
Whoever who wants to visit Kurdistan and Iraq as well and want to break the image that was imposed by media, which is only war and desert, where it's not, it's a mountain and it's very safe, and there are 2 ladies who are just wandering around in Kurdistan and Iraq, and it's really safe. So if you want to break that idea and enjoy the nature and enjoy the beautiful culture and the ancient history, just come to here, Habibi.
All right, we are on our way to the Turkish border. It is the Ibrahim Khalil border pass. Pretty excited. I've been always wanting to do this border for many years, so let's see if we can get a good price at the border.
In general, this has been an incredibly special trip. I did not know what to expect when I was coming to Kurdistan, but I learned so much, learning about all of the various ethnic groups that exist here in the Kurdish region, and how everybody has really just been fighting for their rights to exist. It makes me sad that it's so hard for all of us as humans to coexist. I highly recommend a trip to Kurdistan. The visa is an e-visa, and it's very simple.
Right, we made it to the Turkish border, and that is all from Kurdistan. Let's see what we can get into in the eastern part of Turkey.